watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. Hi, everyone, and welcome back. And we're going to get the pre-agenda report from Supervisor Richard Forster.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing, Richard?
Good. How are you today?
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, very good weekend. Spent some time with my new granddaughter.
Okay, good. I was going to say, what's her name?
Her name is Grayson Marie Welke.
Okay, that's great. All right.
She's a pretty little baby. She was born by C-section, so she doesn't have that new baby, exactly that new baby look. She looks like a baby that's a couple weeks old. So.
Okay.
But she's doing good. And starting off our meeting, first item up on our agenda actually will not be an item. It'll be open for comment, but this is a discussion by Chris Bennett on the PG&E facilities and the different intricacies of the FERC license on the PG&E operations, the hydroelectric operations. He's actually going to come back at our subsequent meeting, second meeting in June. The discussion, I believe, will be based on the water releases that are taking place per the FERC settlement because of negotiated agreements, and the water goes for recreation and fish purposes. Now, in a year like this, there should have been something built in where they could have said, we're not releasing because we're in the middle of a drought. We may need that water for human domestic purposes.
Now, is this a relicensing that happens every in an interval every so many years?
That's correct.
Okay, so what is the interval this time?
I think the intervals are long. I don't want to misstate, but
right.
I think they're 8 or 10 years at a minimum. But really, it makes no sense. There should have been an out clause built into this that if you have a severe drought, that could, if we have a 2 or 3 year drought, and it could affect the ability for people to get water for domestic purposes, then those flows need to be taken back. Now, that's one of the questions I'm going to have for Mr. Bennett at our second meeting in June is there any ability for us to appeal to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to get those water releases pared back for human consumption rather than for recreation and fish.
Okay.
So, anyway, that'll be at our next meeting, but we'll have comment on it tomorrow. Next up, we'll have Carolyn Fergula in with the Amador County Recreation Agency. Carolyn is the executive director, and she'll be talking about all of their programs. She'll be talking about their budgets. I know I have a question for her. One thing I saw, she mentioned the parks in here that they take care of. The Volcano Communications Park was, I don't think it was mentioned in the materials, so
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we're not losing sight of that someday that will be a major park upcountry. Some of the master planning has
That's
already
one
been...
right in Pine Grove.
That's correct.
Right,
And some of the master planning has already been initiated on that, so I don't want to lose sight of that, when the economy gets healthy, that is a project that'll make upcountry and the whole county proud. But she'll also talk about the budget.
Okay.
And I know the $5 per capita that each entity is supposed to put in, all the cities in the county. The county puts in, I think, $4 now, but the county has a lot of other things that they put in besides just the raw capital. So we have a lot of in-kind services that are provided also from our General Services Department, from our Legal Department. So I think those need to be taken into account by ACRA and by the other entities also, that those in-kind costs add up. And
Right.
by the way, the school district works on an in-kind basis. In fact, they're not even listed under member contributions, and they're a member of the ACRA board. So all of those things need to be looked at.
Okay, and ACRA probably will be going to all of the cities as well. Is that what this
already
is?
do
This
some-
yearly?
Some cities fund
Going around.
fully, some cities only fund partially. I know Iowa's been trying, but for years they did not fund anything, and then they're just starting to come back and try to put some money in now. They do have a valid argument there, though,
Yeah,
too, is that they have a Howard Park, which is used by thousands and thousands of kids across the county. That should be considered an in-kind contribution, all of the maintenance efforts that they put into that park that are charged to the city of Ione and to the ratepayers or the residents of Ione. So,
Okay,
with,
Richard?
with that, we'll have Mike Boitano in talking about the Deputy Agricultural Commissioner Sealer position. As you know, Mike is retiring come July. He wants to retain this position. In absence of retaining this position, he wants to get an inspector position funded.
What was the first position again?
Well,
That he-
Mike is our ag commissioner for the
Right.
county. This one is the deputy ag commissioner.
Okay,
The thought is Mike's position will be filled, definitely, but this position may remain vacant because we still have a structural deficit of about 400,000 in the county. We need to close that, and you don't close that by filling all the positions out.
does the ag commissioner have more duties now with the global warming agendas in that as well?
Not
to
really.
Take care of?
Not really.
No? Okay.
The duties are the same. They deal with the state bureaucracy. They deal with pest detection, organic nursery seeds, the inspections there, petroleum and Waymaster. They're in charge
Okay.
of that. Registrations, roadside weed spraying. So there's a lot of duties there. I'm not arguing against that, but what I'm arguing is that we need to close our structural deficit. And
Right.
sometimes that entails making tough decisions, too.
Right.
So-
And it seems to me, once again, that it's local government that's doing, if at all, watching the budgets and keeping those under control as much as possible. I want to thank you for that, and go right ahead.
Yeah, and by the way, we don't want to be pound-wise and penny-foolish, too. It's important. We have a lot of industry in our county,
Right.
ag industry, the vine vineyard industry in our county, and the glassy wing sharpshooter. I mean, those things need to be monitored because that's a big industry. Napa went through that where they had influx of that insect, and it could cost the county millions of dollars. So
And more the vintners and the wineries are bringing in more and more tourist dollars
that's correct.
with their events and things. It's really taking off. I think we're probably becoming very well known as a county for to come and visit.
That's correct. And a lot of things take place up here because of our vineyard industry. So
Right.
we have discussion on the hydrological study for the Lincoln Mine water impacts. This came up in, I believe it was May, where the board ordered our land use department to go back, work with the Sutter Gold Mine on the impacts of their blasting. We know we had I think it was the Pinotti family that had a well that was producing significant amounts of water, and their contention is that about the time the blasting started is when their well basically went dry. This is a tough decision for the board, but our feeling was if we don't take action here, then how can anyone have confidence in future decisions by Planning Commission or Board of Supervisors? There is some reality here, too, that there was some pre-blasting taking place, and we've learned that from people that did work at the Kennedy mine, at the Sutter Gold Mine. There was some pre-blast testing that took place. That was not brought to our attention at the hearing. Hopefully,
How close are the proximities to the
it's right
the area?
up against the time that their contention was at Sutter Gold Mine that the blasting did not start until after the well went dry.
Oh, okay.
Our
All right.
our investigation and
Right.
our people
Okay.
we've talked to, I think, contend that there was pre-blasting that took place, and there's too much of a coincidence to have someone's well that's producing hundreds, or I think it was over 100 gallons a minute,
Right.
to go dry right about the time the blasting takes place. So the land use department, Susan Grahal was asking, I need some more direction because it's very broad here. How far do we want to go? So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Okay, we're going to take a break with that, and stay with us. We'll be right back here on TSPN.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.